Hands down, one of the best first things you can do when you get a new car is ceramic coat it. It makes it quicker to wash, easier to wash, it's hydrophobic, protects your paint. If you didn't know, if you're new into cars, when you first get a car and you have clear coat, the UV rays from the sun break down that clear coat over a long time. So especially for those who park their cars outside, this is huge because it creates a layer between the sun and your clear coat so that your clear coat doesn't wear away. So not only are you making it easy for yourself to wash, you're protecting your paint and the clear coat that ultimately makes the shine and gloss and look really nice. This is a win-win-win. There's links in the description to go get all this. I have an extra pad here for Parker to work with me on it. We have rubber gloves, we have isopropyl alcohol, we have some rags, and we have the CERAKOTE kit. This will last 500 plus washes. It comes with 2 little bottles of it, which is plenty for a car like this, or you can use both of these for a big truck. The install process is easy. Let's get right to it on the GR and coat this carbon roof to make it look even nicer and make sure that white paint looks great. And you'll see what we're gonna do with the Subaru and do one step before something like this. Step 1, isopropyl alcohol, cleaning rags. We're gonna wipe down the whole entire car and make sure it's clean. One of the most satisfying things about ceramic coating is how hydrophobic it is. And if you don't know what that is, we need to do the water bottle test to show you. So we're gonna show you the before and after we install it. But I'm gonna take a water bottle. Pay close attention to how the water reacts to the hood, how it falls off, how it sits, where it sits, and then you'll really be able to tell. So here we go. Notice how all this water is sitting right here, not going anywhere. See, the one droplet just ran off. They're starting to move, but everything's just sitting on top after we did isopropyl alcohol. After the ceramic coating, this stuff is just gonna fly off the paint because it's so slick and hydrophobic. Extremely quick tutorial on how to ceramic coat. If you've never done it before, you need to get rubber gloves on. All this stuff is linked in the description always. Not fun when you get it on your skin. We're gonna take a bottle and then we're gonna set up our applicator. I'm gonna use the orange side so it's easier for you to see. Shake it up. We're gonna open this and we're gonna set up here. You can just run it back and forth until you see this whole thing get wet and damp. That's good. Doesn't take much. A little goes a long way. That's why the bottle is so small. But you just want to keep this thing wet. Let's start with the front fender, one panel at a time or one area, depending on your comfort level. So I'm gonna bring it down and I'm gonna go back up and we're gonna do a cross hatch motion. So I just did that little section. So I'm gonna get full coverage of it. If you get this on trim or whatever, it's fine. You can just wipe it off. So now when you're in person, it's easy to see where you've been and you're just gonna get really good coverage on this whole thing. And so now I'm gonna go back up and down vertically after I did horizontally. That's called cross hatch. Start in little areas. I'm experienced and I'm comfortable doing this area. So this logo, we're gonna go right over it. We're gonna go down side to side. This vent, treat it like anything else. Get in these crevices as much as I can. And then get the areas that you don't have. Full coverage, get the corners. I get here. You're gonna look at the panel, it's gonna be full of smears. That's ideal. You want full coverage on the whole thing and then you're gonna let it sit. We're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes and let this what's called sweat. So it's gonna start to bead like water a little bit. And then after 5 minutes, we're gonna wipe it off to get all the excess off. It's called leveling. And then after that, you're done. It's that easy. Every panel, and it just takes some time. Hey Siri, set timer for 5 minutes. 5-minute timer. I have an ultra plush microfiber. These are good for drying towels to level, or you can use regular microfiber, don't sweat it. 5 minutes completed. If we look at the panel, you're gonna see a bunch of lines. It's called sweating. We're gonna wipe that all off. If you look at it up close, it's easier to see in person. It's hard to show on camera, but it's extremely obvious. Really simple. Just act like you're detailing the car. All the areas you hit, just wipe down, give a little bit of pressure. All you need to think about is that this ceramic coating just is glued onto your paint. So all the excess that's coming off is the high spots, and it's just the stuff sitting on top of itself. And when you leave it sitting on top of itself, and if it dries and hardens, it will leave like rainbowing light refractions, and then you'll be like, someone's gonna say, why does your paint look like it has rainbows in it? You're gonna say, well, I didn't know what I was doing. But this makes it really easy. This product is simple to apply. Just like that, all those sweat marks are gone and water is gonna bead right off this thing. So once we do the whole car, just leave it in here for 2 hours or in a shaded area, and then you're good to drive it, and then don't wash it for 24 hours, and then you're good. So throw the time lapse on. Parker and I are gonna go crazy and get good coverage on the whole car and be done. If you want some drip, Karma Speed on GLD.com, like Parker.
Right here.
If you want some ice, don't forget to use our code. It supports the channel.
Karma Speed, all caps, up to 60% off whole site.
We just finished the whole car, the relieving moment of taking off the gloves. Once you're done, the only thing you need to do is just look around for high spots where you see like the sweating, you see any like swirls. Just make sure the paint looks smooth. Everything else like that, just take a look around. Did we forget this? You find places you forget. I need to wipe that off. You just come and buff it down with your hand. Did all the glass, all the trim, even the windshield wipers. The tray up here. Now when you touch it, it's so slick. It's really satisfying. The paint looks really sharp, really dense. The car's all finished. Before we do the water bottle test on the hood to follow up, to give you a really dramatic comparison, I want to show you something crazy. So if we pour a little bit of water, look how it just turns into a perfect little like orb circle. That's because it can't stick to the surface and it's just rolling off this roof that's barely curved all the way into the seal. Isn't that wild? Let's just do one way up here. Let's make it even more interesting. Let's do the hood test. Once it's hardened, the paint is super slick and smooth to the touch. You can literally physically feel it. Let's do the water test. Look right here, it's starting to move. So all this water is struggling to sit on the surface. So if you were to just drive away, it would blow off. Something to think about is when you see someone use one of these, you need to have ceramic coating so that it flies off the surface when you do introduce air. The other thing that makes it so much easier to clean is that when there's dirt, grime, brake dust, everything from the road, it doesn't have a chance to stick to the paint because it's coated. So that way when you do blow it off with water and then you just blow it off with air after that, it's almost like you're done. You have to do minimal drying little touches here and there maybe, and then the car looks brand new. You could just the wheels, to the trim, to the paint, to the roof, to the glass. It makes things so easy for washing, and we highly recommend it for any of you out there.